Hello Twitchies, we are here with another top 5 video. We've got your top 5 junglers in the Smite Twitchy League for December. So before we jump into it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and let's find out who is our number 5 jungle. Incon's top 5 Jungle Edition. Number 5. Our number 5 jungler to kick it all off is a bit of a surprise. It's Ne-Zha. Ne-Zha is one of those guys that when he's not doing very well, he tends to kind of fall off the planet. And when he's doing well, he tends to do really well. So it's not actually that surprising to see him in the top 5 because he's kind of in the top 5 or a bottom 5 is kind of how he vibes. The big thing right now for Ne-Zha is the fact that crit is so strong and so efficient, and he can get it online so early. He still has the built-in crit chance. Don't forget, one of the few gods that actually does, which means that you can actually get away on Ne-Zha with going directly into Deathbringer, the best crit item in the game, and you can start eliminating squishies with just your ultimate really, really quickly. Particularly at the end stages of the game in those late game team fights, if you get a Ne-Zha ultimate onto a squishy, whether it's their ADC, their mage, whatever, you are going to 100-0 them, which means you've effectively just made that fight a 5v4. Now, of course, with Ne-Zha, you always have to be very careful because his ultimate is not an absolute guarantee to hit. Even the best of players will miss Ne-Zha ultimate from time to time, so you do have to be careful with how you're actually utilizing his ultimate, but when utilized properly, you basically make the game a 5v4, and because crit is so strong, Ne-Zha finds himself just making that top 5 jungler list. Number 4. Number 4 on our top 5 junglers, it's going to be Camazotz. Camazotz has been seeing a rise all across the board, particularly in competitive level play. You're seeing him a lot actually as a solo laner, so much so that he's actually started to get banned. But in the Smite Twitchy League, he's actually been doing much better over in the jungle. His ganking potential is really, really strong, and that's pretty straightforward. The ability to dive a tower while not taking any damage is simply really good. Also, you have to keep in mind that the Camazotz ult as well as the Freya ult got that buff just a little bit ago, where they used to be able to get hit when they were going into the air into their ultimates. Now, like the instantaneous moment that you click that ulti, you're gonna be untargetable, unhittable. So it's got really, really quick reaction time, way more than like beads and Aegis and stuff do. So it's also just one of the best getaway abilities in the game, on top of the fact that it's a great aggressive ability. More so than that, he's also just got a ton of damage built into his kit. He loves going right into the Jotun's Wrath, getting that quick, easy power and cooldown online. His leap a while ago got that big buff where it became longer, and ever since he's had that long leap, he's actually had really good mobility in his kit. So his ability to gank you over basically any wall in the game and his vast amount of burst damage have brought him up to our number 4 slot in the Smite Twitchy League. Number 3. Now for the ultimate counter pick jungle, it's gonna be Raven coming in at number 3. Raven has basically always been the bane of any mid laner's existence. While he's not necessarily been the number 1 jungle that people are like, oh, I gotta ban it, I can't be going against it. As somebody that plays a lot of mid lane, I can let you know that there's so many gods that Raven just absolutely wrecks by nature of the fact that he has so many immunities / CC immunities in his kit. His ability to go invulnerable with his 2 means that a lot of meta gods like Scylla get absolutely wrecked. Anybody that relies on one big form of CC to set up the rest of their abilities, absolutely murdered by Raven, because he can get out of it with his overhead kick. He can get out of it with his ultimate, which is a massive movement ability and also CC immune. And of course, he's probably going to have beads and blink, which means that he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 12,000 ways to get out of anything that you're going to throw at him. Now, if the enemy team knows this, they're probably not just going to go pick willy-nilly into you. They're going to pick some gods that are a little bit more like in the vein of Raijin, where he doesn't necessarily need any setup for his abilities. He's just kind of throwing out poke and poke and poke and poke. So you don't necessarily want to first pick the Raven, but if you see that the enemy team has locked in that Scylla, if you see that they've picked the Anhur or something, and then you go, oh, well, I'm just going to dodge your Impale. I'm just going to dodge your Root, and then you're going to sit there and you're going to die, which brings up Raven to our number 3 slot, guys. But before we get to our number 2 slot, a word from today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Support the Twitchiest community by downloading Raid Shadow Legends by using the link in the description down below and beating that tutorial. If you want to go the extra mile, you can support us even more by reaching level 25 in-game, and you can use our exclusive code SEDEC21 as long as you use our link to get even more extra goodies in-game on top of the free champion you're going to get, on top of the free silver and the free gems, and for a limited time, you can earn a legendary hero in-game by logging in for 7 days straight and help support the Twitchiest community raise $2,000 for the January Smite Twitchy League. Number 2. Our number 2 jungler on the list brings you the premier team fighting. Hunmats has always been one of the best team fight junglers in the game, and he tends to thrive in the metas where they go a little bit into the later stages of the game where you can really get use out of his fear no evil. With the Smite Twitchy League games being on average 30 minutes long, it means that the games are going long enough for those late game gods like Kali, like Hunbats, to actually have good relevance. Now, the difference, of course, between Hunbats and Kali is that Kali's early game clear is garbage, and Hunbats has one of the better early game clears. People always forget about how good it is, but Sacred Monkey, that being your 3, is one of the best level 1 clear abilities in Smite. You throw it out, it's going to hit the big minion twice, and then you can teleport to it as well and reset your auto attack chain, which means you basically get 2 autos for the price of 1 at Costco. So you're going to get a bunch of good early game clear, allow you to get to that level 5. Now, Hunbats' one big weakness is that his pre-level 5 fight is not that strong. So the one thing that you have to watch out for in Hunbats is when the enemy team is locking in an ultra early game god. We're talking the Thanatoses of the world. They might provide some issues for you because if you've got a Thanatos running at you at level 4, Hunbats is not going to be able to keep up and compete with them, or even a god like Arachne or something who really is focusing on those early game, particularly 1v1 fights. So make sure that you're farming up, abuse your Sacred Monkey clear early, get to level 5 and beyond so you can get into the team fight stage of the game, and that is where you're really going to thrive and see Hunbats get to work to his full potential. Number 1. You ever been hit by a Fenrir Brutalize? No? Well, lucky you, because the rest of us have been getting one-shot by an auto lock-on ability for a hot minute now. Fenrir takes our number 1 spot in the Smite Twitchy League top 5 jungles. Guys, Fenrir really been a strong god here for a while. In some metas, he even starts to play in other roles. It has not been uncommon in the past for us to see Fenrir supports, Fenrir solos, but right now, he really is that jungle main. He absolutely loves where the meta has headed in terms of jungler itemization. He loves Jotun's Wrath. He even loves the hybrid build if you want to go something like a Blackthorn Hammer Shifter Shield. And Fenrir can even, I swear to you, abuse some crit in his build if you're getting ahead early and you want to go one-shot some squishies with something else outside of your Brutalize. Seriously, give it a shot. It's hilarious. Fenrir in general, though, really comes down to 2 big things. 1, his ultimate has got to be one of the best CC abilities in Smite, period. And the fact that once you get really good at Fenrir, you start to bait it out, you start to ulti, you don't go bite right away, forces the enemy to beads. Now they wasted their beads, and you can pick them up anyway, and then you hold them in your mouth for what seems like 12 years. I don't know why Fenrir ult lasts so long. Why does it last so long? No, but seriously. So that's one of the best abilities in the game. And then luckily, he also has another one of the best abilities in the game, Brutalize. If you do not have a way to get out or stop Brutalize, it is going to be 100-0 all game long, every single time. So you've got to be careful what gods you're picking into Fenrir. Make sure you either have a leap in order to cancel his brutalize or some form of quick CC like Apollo's Mez in order to get him out of it. Otherwise, you're going to sit in the brutalize, and I promise you, you're not going to see the other side. The good boy Fenrir has taken his spot on his throne as the #1 jungler in the Smite Twitchy League for December, guys. His ability to brutalize is just really strong. He has so many good matchups as a counter pick. He is such a strong, like, 3rd, 4th, 5th pick jungler. So if you get to put off that jungle pick until a little bit later, wait for the enemy to get some of their picks done. The ability to brutalize characters that cannot get out of it basically means that you have a guaranteed way to get fed. So if you can find some of those characters like a Shibalanke or something, all of a sudden you've got yourself easy peasy free wins as the jungler starts to snowball out of control. Couple of honorable mentions to junglers that just barely didn't make the list. Bastet didn't quite make the top 5 list. She is doing well. Her problem right now is that she gets banned a lot, and so when she gets played, the people aren't necessarily comfortable playing her because you don't have a lot of practice time on the Bastet. You know it's supposed to be really good, but you don't get a lot of opportunities to play her because she's always banned. So when you do get her, all of a sudden it's like, maybe I should have picked something else. Cleo just kind of got nerfed a little bit, and so she's fallen a little bit out of that top tier. Also a little bit more on the difficult edge to play, but when you get a really good Cleo against you, you feel that really, really quickly. And also Pele. Pele also doing quite well right now as well. She's got the ability-based jungler kit, and she's got a lot of movement speed, which means she can get around to those camps really fast, go through a lot of farm with the double ability to cast on her 1, so she can farm up really quickly, try to get that level 5 and go for even more ganks, guys. Hope you learned something here today in your top 5 junglers video. Hope you had a good time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course make sure you download that Raid Shadow Legends. And as always, have a twitching day, y'all. Thank you for supporting the Twitchiest community. If you'd like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and always hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thank you for all your support and have a twitching day, y'all.